What's up, everybody? Wax's podcast listeners. I bet you're surprised to hear my fucking voice. I bet you're super surprised. You thought I was dead. You thought I was homeless somewhere. You thought I was living in a dumpster, as I probably will be eventually one day, considering the problems I have had for many years. I wish I actually talked like that guy that does the news with actually a British accent on the BBC. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, y'all. I'm going to start by saying that this podcast is a little weird. I recorded, all right, back in July, what was it, July? June? I don't fucking even know. I think it was June. What is it now? I don't know. In the middle of June, I went over to New York, and I did an event called Mission Underground New York with a company called Team Backpack. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of them. Team Backpack is kind of like a company online that really specializes in what I like to call lyrical hip-hop, lyrical rap. And they had me come out, and it was really dope. I think the video's coming out soon of me doing a cypher with those guys. But I went to New York, and I was with my homie Nomad. Shout out to him. And he brought his audio recorder. So after I did my shit, excuse me, we were walking around drinking beer, and we decided to use his audio recorder just to interview some people. So while I was there, I did some interviews, and then a couple weeks back, I actually started to do a podcast where I put together all these interviews. And what's going to happen today is the first part of the podcast is going to be what you're hearing currently, me just talking. And the second half of the podcast is going to be the podcast I recorded like a couple weeks ago, but for some dumb reason never put out, that contains all those snippets of those interviews. There's some actually really interesting shit said there and some fun stuff to listen to. I have a little intro that I did for that podcast as well that will be from a couple weeks ago. Anywho, you guys are probably wondering yourself, how come you haven't been doing the podcast, Wax? And you know what? I have no reason. I don't have any legitimate reason to tell you as far as why I've been absent. What's going on? What is the deal with you not doing your podcast? You say in your Seinfeldian voice. And I reply by saying, I have no fucking idea, man. I think me not doing the podcast is just like somebody who works out. You go to the gym every day, but then you fall off for a week. And then you fall off for another week. And for every day you fall off, it becomes that much easier to fall off the next day. You miss 1 week of podcasting, it's not hard to get back on it the next week. You miss 3 weeks, what's a fourth? You miss 4 weeks, what's a fifth? You miss 5 weeks, what's a sixth? You don't think I can do that to 100? I could. Clearly, I don't care. The strange thing is, a lot of you guys are thinking, well, Wax is kind of a fuck up. He's always fucking up because he's always fucked up. I know that's what some of you guys are thinking, and guess what? Not today, Jeff. Not today, Jeff. I've been sober for 4 weeks. I haven't drank since the 4th of July. Well, really the 5th of July was the last time I drank. I've been sober since the 6th of July. And I'm going to see how long I can go, man. I'm going to try to go for a long time. As many of you know, if you listen to my music or my podcast, I have issues with alcohol. I have issues with alcohol. I haven't hit rock bottom like some people have. I still have relationships with my family members. I've never lived in a dumpster. Hold on. I've never sucked anybody's dick for any kind of drug. Everybody has their different rock bottoms. Everybody has a different level of how far they're willing to let themselves go down. And I think recently I kind of got to that level. There's no kind of about it. I kind of had a moment. Kind of went on a little bender. Went on a little bender and had a moment where I realized, man, this shit is just getting a little old. Still love it. I miss it every day. But some of you guys won't be able to relate to, and a small percentage of you will be able to relate to. This shit's a slow building thing, and over time it's kind of like starts to fuck your life up a little bit there. And for me, I'm not, you know, if you go to like an AA meeting, which I've gone to a few, if you go to an AA meeting, you're going to meet a lot of people whose sobriety is the only thing they got. They don't have dreams. They don't necessarily have talent. They don't have any faith in themselves that they can do anything amazing. And the most amazing thing that they can possibly do is be sober. And I sound like a fucking snob by saying this all snobbily and snarkily. But, I mean, I don't know. It kind of is what it is. I don't know. There's various factors. Might not be talent. It might be the way you were raised. It's whatever it is. Like, people don't believe in themselves. A lot of drug addicts don't fucking believe in themselves, and they let them get a lot more fucked up than I do because I know that I got a light to shine. I know that there's an inner light inside of me that shines on people. People tell me that they're affected by my music. People listen to my podcast. People buy my fucking t-shirts I sell online and shit. And it gives me a sense of self-confidence. It gives me a sense of self-worth. I think that's in all things in my life, that gives me the most sense of self-worth. Of course, people love me like, my friends and my family, and that's great too. But, the fact that I have something to give to society and the fact that I have something besides drinking and doing drugs that makes me feel great, I don't let myself get to the point where some people let themselves get, but I think that I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I've been talking about this shit for too many fucking years, and my next project, which will be coming out soon, I got one more verse to write, y'all. I got one more verse to write, and my new mixtape is done. Hopefully I'll fucking finish that today. But yeah, if you listen to my music, I've been talking about alcoholism for fucking years. And there's some shit about it on this one too. So maybe that's my purpose. Maybe my purpose on the universe is to be a quasi-addict. I say quasi because when you think of addict, you think of somebody who's probably a little bit worse off than I am. But yeah, maybe my purpose is to make music that people like me can relate to. I don't know. And I've certainly had many discussions with people who do. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But it's very difficult not to drink, y'all. I am very used to relaxing and unwinding with an alcoholic beverage. And I don't know how to do it without one. Trying to figure that out. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to drink again. I'm kind of saying that that's absolutely not the case. Cuz I fucking like it. I fucking like it, y'all. This goes back to my old argument of the double-edged sword, which is the phrase you only live once. You only live once, so why the fuck would you deny yourself something that gives you so much pleasure? But you only live once. So why would you fuck up your internal organs with something that's essentially poisonous to your body? That goes the same with cigarettes, which I tried to quit last week. You probably hear my fucking voice. I'm starting to sound like a fucking old lady from Long Island. I got to quit the cigarettes too. I quit for 4 days last week, and for some reason I fucking ended up fucking up. Got right back on it. I beat myself up about it too bad too, y'all. Trying to be happy. And I am for the most part. I feel fucking amazing in the morning. But 5, 6 o'clock rolls around and I start to feel a little itch. Son of a bitch. Do you get the picture? I don't fucking know, but it burns like the way Richard Pryor burned himself with that crack pipe. Yeah. So the good news is without the alcohol, I've been super productive. This mixtape I'm doing is going to be really fucking cool. Collection of honest tunes, mostly in a laid-back nature. As somebody on Twitter hit me up the other day, they're like, can't wait to listen to your summer album while I'm decorating my Christmas tree. And I deserved that shot. I deserved that. That said, this shit will be out in September. Absolutely fact. Like I said, I got one verse to write, and many of the songs are already mixed and being mixed by the person that's mixing and mastering my album. So I'm in the final stage. I got the title. I got all the songs. You know what's interesting about this one, y'all? This is the reason why I decided to call it a mixtape. This album has more features on it than anything I've done before. Bunch of features on this one. Bunch of cool features. So it's a different project than normal. It's just a cool collection, and I'm going to try to tie it together in an interesting way, which I'm already working on. But I should be done my part of this, which is the creation of the music and all that shit within the next week. And then it just comes down to like making videos. I already shot a video for the first single. Music industry talk. Bleh. I already shot a video for one of the songs. And I'm going to shoot some more shit for promotional materials. And it looks like there's a good possibility that your boy will be on the road sometime soon. But nothing's ever 100% until you signing some shit or seeing some money go in the bank account. So I'm not going to talk about that yet, except for what I just did. Man, I don't even know what to talk about because it's been so long since the last podcast. I have been working diligently. What else? You know what's taking up a lot of my time, y'all? I did, I don't know why I keep going. I did a online garage sale. Some of you might have seen that on my various social media outlets. And you know what? That shit did really well. So anybody who bought something I really appreciate it. Shout out to Luis Velasquez, who's almost the reason I'm doing this podcast. I fucked up something in his order, and I sent him something back, and I was like, yo, let me fix it. And he was like, man, you can fix that by not only that, you could do a podcast this week. So he kind of lit a fire under my ass to do this podcast. Anyway, yeah, so I got a bunch of orders. I appreciate anybody who bought something from the online garage sale, but I must say, you know, for the past few years, I've had an external company handle all my merch. All my merchandise stuff is in a warehouse, and a company that keeps a percentage of it has handled it. Like when I put out an album last year and I sold some merchandise, I didn't have to actually physically do any of the shipping. But I'm taking it back to super duper independent right now. And me and my roommate are just doing all the shit ourselves. So I thought that I would sell a couple things, but I damn near sold out of all the shit that's in my garage. That said, there's still a bunch of shirts left. I'm out of extra larges except in the wax tank top, but there's still some summer left, yo. Get that tank top, you know what I'm saying? But I have a ton of smalls, mediums, and larges in the white wax cassette tape shirt and the black wax vinyl shirt. And I still have some Frisbees left. I got some beer pong sets left. But if you want to go shop around, go ahead and do it. I ain't fucking stopping you, that's for sure. There's crazy shit going on in the world. Weirdest presidential election in American political history, at least in my lifetime. I can't tell you if it was weirder than when John Quincy Adams or whatever got elected. I don't know how that turned out. Well, I guess it turned out that he won because I know that's one of the presidents. I also know that was the first father-son president was John Adams and John Quincy Adams, much before the Bushes. It will be interesting if Hillary Clinton wins, which I think she probably will at this point, because Bill Clinton will not only be the first gentleman, but the motherfucker's been the president before. First of all, side note, what does that say about American politics when for a woman to fucking be president, her husband had to already be the president? This is kind of weird. Kind of kingdom-like, isn't it? Father, son, then a husband and wife, president. Kind of like monarchical, if that's even how you would say that. The reason why I think Hillary Clinton is going to win at this point is because I think Donald Trump is just, I mean, if he keeps on fucking saying crazy shit, like he's been saying crazy shit the whole time, but at this point, his microphone is so loud, his bullhorn is turned up to full volume, and everybody's listening and realistically thinking, yo, this dude could be the president. And he says crazy ass shit every day, and every day people seem to be turning against him for fear of how crazy of a presidency he could be. I'm not saying that I like Hillary Clinton. I'm not saying I don't take a side in this, to be honest with you, but I do. I guess I do because I think Donald Trump is crazy. And the last person that you want the person who's the least crazy, the least likely to start World War III. That's how I always vote. Realistically, I don't fucking. Anywho, I really should be like trying to be inspirational, y'all. Quitting drinking, trying to put more positivity into my music in the future. I had that thought. I want to put more positivity in the music, and instead of, my last album was Livin' Foul, kind of a celebration of being a degenerate. I don't want to live like that anymore, y'all. I want to be inspirational and make people think I can be a dreamer. Some say I'm a dreamer. La 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 la. It's Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home. For those of you that don't remember the fucking MTV in the 1980s. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah. I want to be inspirational, and the reason why I was saying that was because of what? Talking about. Oh yeah, I went back to I went back in the podcast to remember why I was talking about being inspirational. Had to go back a whole 45 seconds or some shit like that. I was saying that I really should be out there on my Twitter, on my Facebook, in my music, on my YouTube channel, on my fucking Twitter, whatever social media that you fucking follow me on. I should be out there shouting to the heavens, you guys get out there and vote, okay? You know what you really need to do? Go make a difference and vote. Don't just stand there. Register. Don't just sit on your couch. Go to the polls. Go to the booth. But realistically, y'all, I did vote in the first Obama election. I heard an older black lady on the radio talking about what she went through during the civil rights movement. And I don't remember the timeline, but I think it was her grandmother or something. Basically, there was obviously a large struggle in history for women and for black people and minorities in general. I don't really know the whole timeline because I don't fucking know anything. I haven't taken a history class in quite some time, and when I did, it was probably fucking rigged by the American system. It's probably full of white power and patriarchy. So anyway, I heard a story about how much fucking trouble some people went through to have the right to vote. And for me to fucking sit on my couch and not vote for the first black president, who I would have voted for him in that election. Like, that's who I wanted to win. But I didn't vote in the last election, and I probably won't vote in this election. And don't think that you have to do what I do. Don't think I'm fucking cool. But the fact is, if I vote in this election, let's say I voted for Hillary Clinton. California's going to vote for Hillary Clinton. My home state of Maryland is going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Those are the only states where I could be a resident of. Whether I vote for either one, it literally doesn't matter. You know what I get? I get the fucking I voted sign. The I voted sticker that I can snarkily stick on my fucking collar and take a snobby selfie, smiling self-servingly, and sound like a serpent, and post it on my Instagram and just fucking be one of those douches that has to fucking let everybody know that you're better than everybody else because you voted. Fuck you. You voted for fucking either the fucking wife of a previous president who's owned by the banks or fucking Donald Trump, star of the Celebrity Apprentice. I saw somebody say something really interesting about Donald Trump, how he got a lot of his recent fame, at least, his TV stardom, which really propelled him to be able to be where he is now, was if you really think about it, without Celebrity Apprentice, that stardom he gained by that, I don't think that fool would be running right now. And for somebody that got fame and joy out of firing people, his catchphrase was, "You're fired," and he loved firing people and openly enjoyed firing people. He's the motherfucker that's supposed to get America back to work again. And I know that's a stretch. I know I got Trump supporters that listen to my podcast and fans, and I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all have every right to think what y'all want to think. And I know you're going to think that's a stretch, but think about it. That's the kind of dude this dude is. Anyway, what else is going on, y'all? What else is fucking going on? I got some shows this week. I got 2 stand-up shows, Thursday and Saturday. Thursday being tomorrow, which is here in Los Angeles at Genghis Cohen on Fairfax. This Saturday, August 6th, I believe. Doing my boys Joey and Jake, their show, The Everything Show, at the Improv Lab on Melrose in Hollywood, California. And that should be fun. I'm going to play a song at the beginning of the show. Then I'm going to do a little set at the end of the show. So how the fuck do you like them apples, dickheads? Do you like them fucking apples? Or do you want me to make sauce out of them? I've been waiting for... I said something yesterday that I now I just want to say all the time. Y'all are going to think this is dumb as shit. But I'm just... I like... You ever like think of... You ever like be real into a new slang term or just some, or a joke you thought of, or just like a phrase that you really believe in, that you heard, that you've been kind of have in your head, and you're just like walk around in your life hoping to use it? I preface this way too much for how stupid this is. I just want to say, do I have icing on my feet? Because that shit was a cakewalk. I heard the sound through the headphones of none of you guys laughing. And all of you guys making the face of that emoji that has the flat line as the mouth. Fucking emojis. God damn it. Emoji. What was that? What was the fucking... That emoji would be a cool rhyme with Ginobili. That basketball player. Wasn't there a Marco Ginobili or Marcus Ginobili? The darkest emoji was Marcus Ginobili. Barkley's the Goldplay. And I've been rhyming fucking words for so long. The first single on my new shit kind of has to do with that. I walk around and I just think of words that rhyme. I need to do something different, y'all. I need to do something different in my life. I think I need to go on tour. That's what the fuck I need to do. I need to get the fuck out of Los Angeles for a little while. Not on a trip of drunken excess. I don't need to go to Vegas. I don't need to go to Nashville like I did last year and just get fucking shit-faced the whole time. I don't need that, even though that was an amazing trip. That was an amazing trip. But I don't need to do that. What else, y'all? Should I just fucking go into the other portion of the podcast that was left over from the last time? I think I'm going to do that. I'm a little rusty on my podcast skills. Let's go into the podcast that I had started with some really cool interviews from Mission Underground, New York. Shout out Team Backpack. All right, y'all.
His podcast?
Yeah, podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is.
Welcome to Wax's podcast. What the fuck number is this? How many of these have I done? I feel like even though this is podcast 116, and to some people that may sound like a lot of podcasts, that hard S on the S. To some people, that may sound like a lot of podcasts, but for considering how long I've been doing this podcast, I feel like I should have at least double that. I also feel like it might be getting a little bit redundant for me to talk about the consistency of the podcast, because at this point, I'm just consistently inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. And this is going to be a little bit of a different episode here on Wax's podcast. I believe now, at this point, it was like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. It's hard to say. I don't know if it was, I think it was the weekend before last weekend. I don't know. But I went to New York, and I got down with these cats at Team Backpack. If you've never heard of Team Backpack, Team Back is a movement on the internet that I respect, and they've helped me out a lot pushing my music. And I hope to do a lot of stuff with them in the future. But they had an event, Mission Underground, New York. It was in Brooklyn. Can't remember what fucking date it was, but it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. They had me come through, and I shot a video where I did a cipher. They do really good cipher videos on the internet. You should check them out. Check out the one, if you want to get a feel for it, check out the one with Jaron Benton, Sci-Hi the Prince, and Joel Ortiz. They'll give you a feel for kind of like the shit that they bring to the table. And it's cool, man. It's like one of the best platforms for what I term as, for lack of a better word, lyrical rap at this point. And so I went out there and I did my thing. And once I got my part of the work done, got off stage, me and my boy Nomad, who actually lives in Brooklyn, who I was kicking it with, he had brought a Zoom recorder. So we had a couple drinks, and we decided to just interview some people that were there with this recorder, and just talk to some interesting folks that were there. And you can hear as these interviews go, I get a little bit more fucked up. I had the flu that weekend, and it was the kind of flu where you can fool yourself out of the symptoms. Like if you wake up and take enough Dayquil and Advil, you kind of feel like you're okay. So then you start having a couple drinks, maybe smoking a little bit, and then by the end of the day, when all the fucking medicine wears off, you want to just jump off a bridge directly into your own grave or whatever the fuck. So that's what happened that day. That night, it was a Saturday, and during the day I felt so good because the performance went pretty well, and had some drinks, meeting some real cool people. It was a fun event. But that night I just went right back into the flu, and when you do that to yourself, it takes like you're adding on another day or two to the sickness, and I really felt that after effects when I got back here to LA. But hey, what can you do, man? Gotta start being more healthy, man. I've been living a really unhealthy lifestyle for a long time, and I think that I might make a drastic change soon. Anyway, I might have to, man. What am I gonna do first? All right. This first interview, and I apologize, during all these interviews, you might hear some background noise and stuff, but I think it actually, if you forget the fact that it's not perfect audio, even though it sounds good, but there's just a lot of background noise because there was multiple stages and there was people here, people there, there's cars going by. But if you try to ignore that, I think the stereo quality of the Zoom recorder actually kind of gives you a feel like you were there, man. But the first person I interviewed was this dude named Skeevious Tips, who's a rapper from up in Toronto. And he was one of the people that actually came to this event. This event had a crazy amount of artists at it. There was thousands of rappers, it was like at this warehouse, and outside the warehouse, there's just people having ciphers and people networking and people beatboxing and showing each other their beats. And it was cool. It was inspiring for me to see as somebody who doesn't get to be around a lot of youthful, exuberant musicians all the time. And the first couple days they had auditions, and what they did is Team Backpack had like 2,000 or 3,000 people send in submissions, and they picked 600. So 600 people got up and rapped, and then they picked the 12 best. And Skeevious Tips was one of those 600 people, and I thought it was interesting to talk about what he went through. I had to cut some of the interesting parts of our interview because the background noise got too fucked up on this one, but yeah, check it out, Skeevious Tips. We're here at Team Backpack, Mission Underground, New York, and we're here with Skeevious Tips. And Skeevious Tips was a competitor in a big event. Can you explain what the event was?
This event is a conference / festival / meeting ground for underground rappers all over the world who are all trying to do essentially the same thing that I'm trying to do, which is just perform from our town independently and put music out online and just try and get and reach as many people as we possibly can with how good we are and just get better and just communicate with people and connect and network. That's what this event is about.
And your town is what?
My talent is hip-hop. I'm a writer. Words
No,
are
I
my
said
thing.
town.
My town.
Yeah.
My town is Toronto, Canada.
So there's a lot of people that came out here to be in like kind of like a Royal Rumble of rappers. There was how many people?
2,000 to 3,000 auditioned and they picked 600.
And out of the 600, what happened?
Out of 600, every single one of those 600 gets to go up and spit a 16. And after that, they pick the top 12. And after that, they narrow it down to 3.
616s. That is a lot of rapping. That's a lot of rapping. That's like.
I do not envy
So
the judges.
how do you feel you did?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I sharded up there. I sharded when I got up there, but I redeemed myself in many, many ways in all the ciphers around here, and especially because the sponsor of this event is Mountain Dew, and I won the Mountain Dew part of the competition, which was like a separate thing where they choose the top 4 from each guy or each day. There was 2 days, and they picked the top 4 from each day 1 and day 2 to be on the Mountain Dew cipher, and I got into that, and they paid me $100.
$100, folks. You heard it here first. What's the next plan for you?
Right now, I just finished recording my album, which I'm very, very excited about. It's going to take a long time for it to get out there because I basically saved up all the money I possibly could so I could get the thing recorded. And then now now that it's recorded, I got to save up all the money I can to get it mixed, and then I got to save up all the money I can to get it mastered. And then I got to save up some money to get it marketed. So it's going to take a long time, but I'm very, very excited about this album. I just finished 2 years of music production, performance, and songwriting school. So I learned that should change my life. I learned a lot about the industry and sort of how to put out an actual project.
Did you produce it yourself?
I did not produce the beats, but I did all the engineering. I was in the studio by myself every single
What's the
day.
vibe? Like what kind of beats you got?
For this album, I would say melodic hooks and just really, really like meaningful rhymes. I'm not just spitting for the sake of spitting. I'm spitting because I feel that I have something that people might want to hear and people might be interested in.
You heard it here first, man. I can't say it any better than he just said it. Skeevious Tips, where can they find you at?
You can find me at skeevioustips.com. You can find me at Skeevious Tips on pretty much every social media platform. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know.
That's what's up. Wax This Podcast. Shout out to my man Nomad with the Zoom recorder. Shout out to my man Germ with the selfie stick and GoPro. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that was Skeevious Tips. This next interview from the Mission Underground New York 2016 event was with the host of the event, a guy named Mozzie, who's well known in the hip-hop scene in New York. He actually used to work at Def Jam when I was with Def Jam, and that's how we actually recognized each other. And I interviewed him, and we talked about some things. But, I admired his hosting abilities because as it is with a lot of times when you're the host of a comedy show or a music show or whatever it is, people are showing up late. There's fucking technical difficulties, and you got to just be up there on stage bullshitting and trying to calm people down and just kill time, basically. And we talked a little bit about that, but here's my interview with Mozzie.
But I mean, this is what happened. Battling used to be a notch on your belt. It used to be a certain part of being an MC. Then it transformed into being its own little subgenre.
Right.
So back then, I don't want to say back, I don't want to sound old, but a few years ago, you have to know how to battle, and you have to know how to make songs, and you have to know how to spit in a cipher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You need to know how to do a live show.
Right.
So all those were encapsulated in an artist and an MC, whereas now it's been split up. But I feel Team Backpack is bringing all the dynamics of a full-on MC back together.
Right.
Yeah.
Because cats like Jay-Z and DMX, they battled, of course.
Yes.
But the end goal was to be an artist. The end goal was to make albums and go platinum and shit like that.
And
Whereas now, the end goal of a lot of kids is just to be a dope-ass battle rapper.
Right.
Different vibe.
Different vibe. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
It's just,
no.
I like a full-on MC with all the different values, you know what I'm saying? All the different skill sets. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy.
I actually wanted to ask you a question about something too, because like I have a lot of friends. I live in LA, and I have a lot of friends that are rappers and a lot of friends that are comedians. And there's always somebody whose job is the host.
Right.
And the host often has to just fill a lot of time, man. And you fucking came up to the side of the stage today and you're like, what the fuck, man? How much time am I gonna have to fill? What the fuck else am I gonna say?
Because I can say things, but I have to walk the fine line of funny and cheesy. I don't want to be that cornball. I'm like, look at that cornball, he's back up there. So I have to find a fine line where I entertain people, I'm assertive, I read the crowd, and I make them laugh at the same time and make sure they're having fun and they're comfortable. So, that's the kind of tightrope I'm walking and trying to read all the time and figure out, which is a fun adrenaline rush in itself. You know what I mean?
A very underappreciated job is the job of the host.
Thank you, man. But I did get to perform yesterday.
Did you?
Yes, I'm also an artist.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I got to perform too. I don't want to give any shameless plugs. I'm not into
no,
that.
we want shameless plugs, man. We want it.
But if we're talking about those, we can talk about that. But if you would like to check out my music, it's soulpurposecrew.com. Soulpurposecrew.com. Everything's free. All the projects I do, each one is dedicated to a different charity around the world. I travel the world, third world countries, refugee camps. I work with kids, and we just do it. Every project is a different charity. So I'm an artist that dedicates to nonprofit situations. So
you're out here doing good things for the world, man.
Come on, man. Come on. If we can't do that, then and hip hop's brought me to 30 plus countries, bro. Like I wouldn't have been able to go to all these weird ass. I don't want to say weird. It's not politically correct. Countries that are foreign to us, like Kyrgyzstan or even Manila or Tunisia, all these places that I wouldn't have gone if I wasn't an artist.
I feel the same way, man.
You know what I mean?
I know cats that I grew up with, they never been outside of the United States, probably never been outside their state.
Or their block.
Yeah.
Some people in their block, it's crazy.
But like, to go to places like the Ukraine and shit like that, like.
So let me ask you a question. You went on a train from the airport or in a cab from the airport to where you're going in some off country, right? Did you ever look out the window and be like, yo, I'm a kid from LA, like from a street, blah, 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 from a neighborhood. What? This is crazy that I'm here because of what I love to do.
Yes.
Not because of a business trip. It is business, but you're there because of your art.
I'm from a very small town, and people from the town I'm from, the TV and radio, that's like another planet, man. That's like they don't know how to fucking get on that shit. I didn't know how to get on that shit.
Right.
So people from where I'm from think that what I do is incredible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it is. I mean, you're striving to do more, but every time you go to another country and you in that cab or in that train or landing in that airport, you're like, what the it never fails. I'm always like, wow. Even repeat countries, you're like, this is crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a blessing, really.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's good you appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and another good thing about this Team Backpack shit is, being that it's not battles, everybody's coming with their swords, you know what I mean? And steel sharpens steel, you know what I mean? And that's so important, man.
Yeah.
They're getting better. I've seen people in earlier ciphers that I've watched online or seen in person to now, they're better.
Yeah,
They're better.
I think for people like me, or fuck me,
Right.
people like Twista and Cons that have been doing this forever, to see cats outside ciphering and freestyling, like really feeling it in their heart, like I think it builds up people that have been doing it for a while that might be a little stagnant or might be a little jaded, you know what I mean?
And
we all get like that.
You saw what Ghostface says. He's like, this is, like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, this is amazing. I ain't never seen no shit like this ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
He got hype. He got inspired by everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he brought this shit to us. You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man, and it's just, it's bringing it back to the essence, but in a non-cheesy way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a real cultural, demanding way, because it demands a lot from us. You know,
Right.
We have to really hit the pen to the pad or the fingers to the buttons. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
It is what it is, man.
That's what's up, man. All right, Mozzie. Thanks for doing this, man.
Appreciate
that, man.
All right.
Mozzie.
soulpurposecrew.com.
All right, that was Mozzie. This next interview I did with a friend of mine named Fritz, and Fritz was one of the people running this event. He has a charity organization associated with Team Backpack and with the Warped Tour, which is where I met Fritz. But he's very into charity work, and he's very into hip hop. He's a rapper himself, and I'll let you hear him talk about the work he does, and you can.
We met on the Warped Tour, and we talked about what you're doing now on the phone. But let the people know what brings you out here to Team Backpack.
Okay, well, Team Backpack, we have adopted the H2 Flow hashtag, which is a movement we're creating with Rockwell Foundation and many hydro philanthropies, basically water nonprofits, drilling wells to capturing water. There's over 700 million people without water. That's unacceptable, and hip hop's a global community with a voice, and we got buying power, so we're gonna change that. And this is the beta. We did a South by Southwest, launched at Google. We're doing this now, H2 Flow today. And then Warped Tour, we're doing something called Wells on Warp, where we're going to be talking to the kids about water and bringing hip hop the same way, and just having fun with the kids, but educating them at the same time, because it's that time.
It is that time. Now, what do you think about, as far as water, what do you think about the bottled water industry? Like, I've seen the movie Tapped, and I've heard shit from the guy that runs Nestle, which is a company I thought was like, oh, chocolate, great. And these motherfuckers want to own all the fucking water under the land. How is that possible?
Well, they do. There's only a few companies, about 5 of them, that own all the aquifers around the planet. And the conversation about water is so important right now because it's about to turn into the currency. Right now, we run under a thing called petrodollar. Do your research. Wake up, people.
I got you.
How it works. And when the water, when the water starts running out, which it will if we do not take control of it on a global level, and let 5 companies take control of it. We already know what time it is, bro. Humans cannot live without water. 900 kids die a day, 14 and under, all around the world. Every day we wake up because we just haven't put the effort towards ending this crisis. There are water philanthropies, but when I started paying attention, it was 1 billion people. 3 years later, it's 700 million. So it's working, but why don't we just end this in like a year, 2 years, and just be done? We don't have time to slow play this. But yet Mayweather and Pacquiao can make $800 million in a night on a fight. A video game, Call of Duty, killing people can make $350 million in a night.
Because we don't know until the last minute.
That's it.
We don't know until it's almost over.
That's right.
But I don't know. I've seen a lot of documentaries. I've done a lot of research on bottled water, and I could have a house, and somehow a corporation can dig under my house and get the water. I don't understand that. I mean, it goes back further than that. How the fuck are we even allowed to own land, in my opinion? But
well, I mean, we did kind of kill 1/3 of the world's population to kind of create this place called America, and we ought to start taking accountability for that as well. And accountability that we have to take. We have to take that responsibility for our actions, and we have 8 billion people on this planet. If we do not stop actually thinking about our decisions and things we do, like eating meat and the impact that factory farming has on our environment, or corporations taking the water, or whatever it is, we got to realize we're 8 billion deep. We are 8 billion deep, and if we work together, nothing can stop us.
I actually have an interesting question. Are you a vegetarian?
I am a vegetarian.
Now, I eat meat, but I don't eat a lot of meat. But I kind of want to be a vegetarian. How would you convince somebody like me that loves the taste of barbecue chicken?
It's real easy. If I'm like, yo, Wax, you're an intelligent man, I'm going to give you 2 options, bro. Watch Cowspiracy documentary, watch Forks Over Knives.
Seen both.
There you go. You got the information, make the choice.
I'm 37 years old.
So am I.
And it's been, are we the same age?
Yeah, we same age, baby.
79?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Come on.
But there's something ingrained in me that makes me like the taste of chicken. I'm good with beef. I'm good with fish. I'm good with pork. I just need chicken.
Okay. Then I'm not going to argue with you about it, and I think I'm a strong advocate of freedom. So all I can do is love you for you, and hope that you love the things that you're taking a place of. So my advice as a friend, I would say, yo, why don't you go kill a chicken, homie?
That's what I want to do.
And then you can own the process. You can own the process, and nobody can have anything to say but you.
Fritz, it's funny that you say that, because I watched an episode of Anthony Bourdain, right? And he was in Africa, and he was on a boat. The boat had no refrigeration, and they had to kill the chicken. And when I saw it, my first thought was like, damn, that's fucked up. My second thought was like, I need to do that. If I'm going to be this guy, I've eaten thousands of chickens. I've never killed one. So I think that exactly.
You already are.
You might have answered the question with that. That's a good answer to the question.
I hope that I inspired my friend. That's all I want.
What's up, man? Yo, Fritz, where can they find you, man? Where can they find
man, you don't need to find me. You just need to find the rockwellfoundation.org. It's a nonprofit, basically just put together media companies and water philanthropies and any kind of nonprofit activist work that we can use a channel of hip hop, which it's all about expression. And if we have that reach of a global impact, I mean, we are bigger than religion, because we don't even play to division. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't play that game. We could have Brother Ali jump on the stage right after Braille. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter your background. You know what you believe in is hip hop. It's a global voice of the community. So whatever the community wants to talk about, that should be put to the forefront, not be ran by media or by government or by any kind of group that holds it under control. But we have to take accountability and work together to do that. So that's it. RockwellFoundation.org. Let's be the change we want to see, man. That's it. Gandhi. What's up?
Check that shit out, yo. Wax's Podcast 2016. Mission Underground.
There you have it. That was my man Fritz. And I was backstage interviewing Fritz. And then right after that, I think I had a drink and I started talking to this young rapper named Token. Token is a 17-year-old rapper out of Salem, Massachusetts that's been getting a lot of buzz recently, and deservedly so. He's a really hardworking kid. It was actually inspirational to be around this dude. You know, you get old and I feel like you become a little less hungry and a little less just like about it. But yeah, this kid was really cool, and he had a lot of nice things to say about me. Apparently, he grew up listening to me and EOM, and it was a good talk, man. I'll let him speak for himself. Token.
Well, we're standing here with Token, straight out of where?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And he's not everybody says something about the witch trials.
I'm not a witch.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not a witch. I'm a little drunk. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go through your history a little bit. So you're a young cat. How old are you?
I'm 17.
And when did you start rapping?
I mean, I started writing when I was real young, like first grade. I was like 7. I started recording when I was like 10, just finding like GarageBand on the computer, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now I feel like you're really killing it right now.
I'm trying, man. It's been a long process. I mean, the process has been shorter than a lot of other people's, but I've been putting in a lot of work since I was real young. You know, I've been putting in constant work since I was that age, since I was 10, recording like every day, you know. So I'm blessed to be in this situation, and I hope it extends.
Yeah.
I hope the moment extends, man.
I think with the platform I have right now, a good question to ask you would be, how did you get yourself out? What would you say was a big way that you got yourself out to the masses?
Yeah. I mean, not over the content, but perfecting the content until you feel like it's something that other people aren't doing. And it's crazy, man. Like the video that blew up for me was something that which just kind of threw out. I mean, I don't throw out anything, but it was something that just kind of took off. And I mean, that's what helped me a ton. But it's just putting in the time, man, and not releasing everything you do, but working as if you're going to, because you grow that much quicker. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's interesting that you say that, because when people ask me that question, which is why I asked you that question, I always say, focus on being better at what you do rather than promoting what you do okayly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And like what you're saying makes sense, because it wasn't something that you put out there to be some viral thing.
Yeah.
It was something that you put out there and it became a viral thing because it was dope.
Yeah.
Because you had put in your hours.
Exactly.
So where are you at now? What's the next move?
The next move is the project, man, and a lot of people have been waiting on it, and I've had it, man. It's about to be done, and I think now is the time, and I've had a lot of these ideas and concepts for a while, and I felt like it wasn't the time to release them yet, but now I feel like I've built everything up to this point, and I've built all this shit, and I'm just ready to release it and show the world who Token is, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
What's up with the name? How did you come up with the name?
Token is like so basically the first rap I ever wrote was me feeling like I was different and no one really understood, and I was kind of like my own guy. I was in like my own corner by myself. And you know how token can mean the only? Like if I was like the token Jew, I'd be the only Jew.
Right.
But token can also mean a gift, like a token of gratitude.
Of course.
So my originality turned into my gift because that was the first rap I ever wrote.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
thanks.
Dope, man. So you're 17 years old. Are you in high school?
I am. I'm doing online classes now.
Oh, it's summer now.
Well, I'm doing online classes, so I still got to work over the summer. So, but I'm a junior, and I'm graduating. I got one more year of high school.
It's fucking unbelievable. You know how fucking old we are?
Wax was telling me that he could be my dad.
When I graduated high school, you were not born.
98, I was born.
I graduated high school in 97.
Okay. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And hypnotized was out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, man. That's
But that
crazy.
goes to show,
High
man.
school, hypnotized, big.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
God damn.
That was the new shit.
So how do you I don't even know what to ask you, man. How do you envision your future? Like, where do you see yourself 5 years from now if everything goes right?
Yeah, man, I hate that question because it's
a
just
shitty
like
question.
I kind of just let things happen, man. I always look at my career like I look at it really by month, and if I'm not just a little bit bigger than the last month, I'm doing something wrong. I really like analyze it like that. So I don't know, man. I didn't expect me to be here and touring Europe at this spot right now. You know what I mean? I didn't expect these things at all. But I know if I keep, short term, keep looking at month by month, I'm gonna be wherever I want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, the way I've always seen it is like you kind of just add competition with what you did before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a wise way to look at it.
Definitely.
That's a wise way to look at it. I hate when people ask me that shit too.
I should be like, I want to be an astronaut.
Whether it's for like career or even like, are you gonna be married? Have kids or whatever? You got a girl? You single?
I'm single.
You're single.
I don't have a girl.
Are you? So you're single and you went on tour in Switzerland, man.
What?
You're single and you went on tour in Switzerland.
I did do that.
And how did that work?
It was good.
Are you being a single man?
In the long run. Yeah.
See, white rappers blush. That's what's up. Man. Shit. I'm not an interviewer, man. I don't fucking know.
Man, you're fucking up, man.
So let's just do it like this. Where can people find you? And what's like? Let's do this.
Yeah.
If you had one fucking chance to show somebody one thing that you have online, what would that thing be?
Yeah. Can I say two things?
Two things, fine.
Two things. Definitely the No Sucker MCs video that I put out. That's on YouTube. That was like my first one that blew up. Hit like a million views in like a month. And then also check me out on Sway in the Morning. That has like 4 million on Facebook.
That shit's crazy.
Thank you.
That shit's crazy.
Thank you, man. I'm going on next.
Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
All right, Token. Thank you, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate it.
All right, that was Token. I did a few more interviews for the podcast, but some of them, there was just so much background noise that it was unlistenable. Some of you are probably like, every single one of these has so much background noise that it's fucking unlistenable, man. But you're just fucking spoiled. You're spoiled by the normal beauty, the normal amazing quality of Wax's podcast with little to zero background noise. So easy to understand. Already easy to understand with the eloquence of your vocabulary and diction. No, I'm just playing, but I did, when we were leaving, we were hanging out with the homies Lyrics and JL. You should definitely check out their music. Their music is the shit. As a group, they're called Year of the Ox. And we were hanging out and smoking and drinking with them and shit. So, at the end, we went outside and we, like, right by the car before they left, we had an interview with them. A shout out again to my man Nomad, who recorded all this shit and sent it to me, man. Here you go, Lyrics and JL.
Oh, 56 seconds?
So you want to use the last 40 seconds to finish up this video?
Yeah, let's do it real fast.
And then I'll switch the car. You can do the podcast.
All right, ready?
What's up? Go.
Yo, my name is Wax. I'm here right now with Lyrics and JL. What's up, y'all? What's going on with y'all?
Chilling, man. We just killed Team Backpack. You know what I mean?
Mission Underground. Yeah.
It was awesome.
They really did, too. They really killed that shit.
Nah, you killed it, son. You killed it. That cypher was suck. That shit was ill, man. Smoked a little bit. We're good, though. It's looking real good. Brooklyn. We in Brooklyn right now. We got the basketball hoops. You know what I mean?
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Somebody.
I'm hungry, guys.
Cut.
We got the basketball hoops. You know what I mean?
Never even, exactly.
Let me change the car.
Take
the full car.
I had to point them out.
Check. You good?
1 2 1 2.
Sound good. Let's go.
All right. We're here at Wax's podcast episode, whatever episode it is, 100 and something. We got my man JL, my man Lyrics here, and together you guys are.
Year of the Ox.
How'd you get that name?
We just kind of came up with it. We also
you gotta give
we were
unabridged.
thinking about it for a good month and a half or so when we decided to become a team, and then one night we just sat down on a FaceTime.
We had a video call, man.
Yeah.
Dumbfounded. Rex Dizzy on the other line. Jail and I, and just like, yo, just brainstorm. You know, dumb. He's like, yo, just throw out words, man. Come on.
Yeah.
And then Rex,
that was
too.
actually Rex's idea, though.
Yeah, Rex exercises. He just threw it out, and we just, came out with he was like oxtail. I think someone said oxtail.
I said I liked that for a second, then Rec was like, yo, what about Year to
For those of you guys that don't know who they're talking about Rex Stizzy, REKSTIZZY.
Yup.
Phenomenal artist, hilarious dude. You should check him out.
California though.
Now you guys are here at the Team Backpack Mission Underground New York event. There was a lot of people rapping. A lot of people rapping, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or did you already know?
No, I mean, no, you already know. I already know. You know what I mean? Like, it was, you know what I mean?
How many performances did you guys do with this?
We performed yesterday. We just did like our set yesterday, and today we did like that bar fight.
Now, was there in the bar fight? I noticed there was like 2 other dudes, and there was y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
But they didn't like call a winner, huh?
Nah. Ours, they're gonna leave it to the internet or whatever.
Smart.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I mean, bar fights is like a new thing that they're trying to start. They're trying to create this new system, or this new idea. I didn't know if it was a battle or not. So when I'm writing, we didn't know if we.
They told us no directs.
Yeah, but then
What?
But at the same time, you're like, what are they? You know what I mean?
So you didn't know who you were battling?
Oh no, we knew.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta do directs.
Right. Like, I mean, just a couple, in their direction.
Bar fights I'm surprised nobody's done that before. That's such a perfect
Yeah.
name. when we rolled up here, somebody said there'd been some bar fights inside. I thought
Oh my
there was
God.
fucking bar fights. I thought somebody broke a bottle and like had the rest of the bottle to stab somebody.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
saloon type of shit.
Exactly.
Nah, it's
Western
dope though.
type
It's
shit.
dope. I like it.
But you guys have been coming out with a lot of dope ass videos. I've been watching them shits.
Thank you, man.
Team Backpack has been helping you guys out a lot. It seems like to me too.
100%, yeah.
Is that
Put
part
us-
of what put you guys out here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with 7 Rings, our first video, they put us out, you know what I mean, and it caught flames, and now it's,
Team Backpack is definitely the right stream. It was a good audience for us,
definitely.
And just
I
yo,
feel like
look
we're in the same boat with that. Like,
yeah.
They've been hooking me up, and like they're like the best platform right now for like quote unquote lyrical
Exactly.
rap.
Bars.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. What you've been doing forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, my name's lyrics. You know what I mean? So that Team Backpack was a home for me.
Now is your producer's name Beats?
I think I have somebody second part beats, but no.
Right. I'm just fucking.
But I know. I'm too fucked up.
No,
It's
you
like,
good?
wait, yeah.
But it has a K, so it's search engine optimized.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So what's next for you guys?
We're working on an EP right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to do shows, put out videos, get out content, get those likes up.
Yeah.
We're just trying to. We need more product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before thinking of any other thing, because we created a team and we want to have dynamic duets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Production. We're not used to doing original production. Coming to New York, our focus was now more business minded. Like, we can't just do instrumentals all the time. We have to have that person on the team who's thinking about the money, you know what I mean? The finance,
Yeah.
everything. Like
I
the
feel
branding.
like you guys have been picking the right instrumentals. Like that's one of my favorite things about you guys. is
Yeah.
The instrumentals that you guys rock with.
Thank you. Man.
Now
I mean,
you're originally from Virginia,
right.
and you're a New York cat.
No, I'm from Virginia as well.
Oh,
I'm from
shit.
Southern Virginia, like Virginia Beach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We linked
Shit.
up.
7 cities?
7 cities,
Yeah.
exactly. I went to college where he's from. I went to George Mason for a little, and then I linked up with him.
I met
George
George from
Mason.
Manifest,
I know
yeah.
George Mason.
The guy that we were an original trio group back in Virginia. And then, we came up to New York, the Ox. That's what it is.
Damn, man. Well, I'm excited to see what happens with you guys, man. I
Excited
think you're
too.
right though, because like just put out more products,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then eventually everything will grow.
I mean, relax, man. We were huge fans. We are huge fans, like Coins and all that. I used to play that all the time, you know what I mean? So definitely watch me. Yeah.
By the way, Lyrics is very tight with EOM, both from Virginia, both Virginians.
EOM.
The Northern Virginia, and you're from Northern Virginia.
Yep.
And you both linked in Northern Virginia.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys got to get some shit from him, man. He got some
sure.
beats that was,
Yeah.
yo,
He did our
kill, man.
He did our check to check.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
latest video.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
killed that. Love
Dog,
that.
I know that beat. He sent me that beat. I should have used that.
Yeah, EOM is just like, it's like, yo, you just got to write to it, you know what I mean? It's
He
honestly
loves
the
you,
crazy.
man. He loves. I keep pointing to him, but like, I don't know you as well.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I haven't met him yet either, so you know what I mean.
Oh, y'all should definitely meet up.
Word.
100%.
Well, shit. Like, what's the best way? Just have a minute to promote yourself. You know?
All right. On Instagram, that's the first thing. At official Yox, OFFICIALYOX, you know, and then
JL757. Yeah, on Facebook too. You're the Ox. You should be able to find us now.
Yeah, we should get a website.
I love Yachts.
Yachts.
That's the short for it.
Definitely. Yo,
That's
Manifest
amazing.
came up with that.
That's
My boy
amazing.
Manifest came up with that. We were gonna go with Yodo at first.
We were gonna go with Yodo.
Yodo, but yeah.
Which is cool too. You know, it's unique.
Sounds
But it
like-
just
They
sounds
both
like
are cool, but Yachts, that's
Yachts is
what's
strong.
up.
It's like yachts. You know?
Yeah. That's the shirt. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah. We
100%,
need that. We need that.
100%.
That's
was
coming.
good,
That's
man.
coming.
All right, y'all. Wax's podcast here in Brooklyn, New York. Mission Underground, Team Backpack. We're here with my peoples, JL and Lyrics, representing Year of the Ox, a.k.a. Yox.
Yes, sir.
Yox.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, Wax.
Yeah.